My name is Jeffrey Lamrond. I'm an addict, or was an addict, whatever you want to say. When I was young, when I was like 14, most people say that, weed is a gateway drug or whatever. I didn't start getting high with weed. The first thing I ever got high with was cocaine. It was available. My friends were doing it, and I decided to try it with them. It was like that, I would do Xanax and weed and ecstasy and acid and cocaine basically throughout high school. It didn't really start getting bad or like consequences to my life until I got arrested the first time when I was 19 for trafficking, all types of shit I was trying to sell. I ended up beating those charges. I didn't take it serious, but because I got away with it. I moved out of my mom's house. I started really getting into a lot of trouble. I started, using needles and shooting up Dilaudid. I used to get arrested all the time, stealing, getting caught with drugs, all types of shit. And my parents wouldn't let me back in the house, so I was homeless. I used to sleep at a hospital underneath the parking garage. And then when it wasn't busy, I would go in and just sleep in the couches in the lobby because that was like more comfortable than the fucking ground outside. That went on for like 5-6 years, just like friends' houses or the street or a park or the hospital or wherever. I couldn't keep a job because I was addicted. I was shooting up dope every day. If I had money, it went to dope. I would just get high all day, every day. I'd walk the streets. I'd rob people. I've been arrested 19 times total. Just probably spent about 3.5 years in jail. It was a horrible experience being arrested that many times, and especially now because it's so hard for me to get a job anywhere. You have to literally like hope someone gives you a chance. But all the arrests I've ever had were because of drugs. It's not because I was a bad person, but I was being a bad person because of the fact that I was an addict. I didn't really mind jail all that much, honestly, because when I was in jail, I felt like I belonged. There was no responsibility. I didn't have to worry about anything. I knew when I was in jail I wouldn't get high because there was no, it wasn't accessible like that. And I didn't really, but as soon as I'd get out of jail, the first thing I'd do is want to shoot up dope. It was horrible on my family's relationship. It was horrible on regular relationships. My dad, he hated me. My mom loved me but would cry every time she saw me because I wasn't her son anymore. I was a scumbag. I was a manipulator. I was a piece of shit. I didn't have friends long because I either stole from you or I just like alienated you from my life if you weren't getting high because I didn't want to put that on someone else. When I was 27 and I was getting high with this kid I knew for a long time. His name was Eric. We were getting high and it was July 24th, 2013. And I was just like tired of walking. My feet had blisters everywhere. We were just like exhausted. I was already 27. He was young, but I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I didn't know how to get help. I didn't know what to do. He had been in recovery before. He had been in rehab before. And he's like, well, we're just going to hop on a train and go to West Palm Beach. There was not a rehab, but it was a detox center. And I was like, all right, fine, let's go. We didn't have any money anyway. I was about to be sick soon. I was like, fuck it, let's go. When we got there, they weren't going to accept me. They accepted him, but they weren't going to accept me because I wasn't sick enough. I manipulated my way into there. We stayed there for 4 days. July 25th, that was the day that I woke up in the detox, and I had been clean for about 17 hours then. I hadn't used. That's the last day. The July 24th is the last day I got high. From there, it was just like a whole new life had started. Eric moved to Pittsburgh like the next day. After that 4 days, he moved to Pittsburgh with some girl. I stayed in South Florida for like a week, and I was like, I can't stay clean here. I don't know how to get clean here. So he invited me to go up there. I moved up there and lived in a halfway house with 15 guys. And it was horrible. It was 15 guys in a 4-bedroom house, 4 people living in each room. I started going to AA meetings, I started going to NA meetings, and I started to understand that I was an addict. I started realizing that I couldn't stop without the help of people and a higher power and without some willpower also. My whole life had changed. I was in a new city I'd never been in, 1,000 miles away from my parents. It was just a whole new life. I met a bunch of new people that were in recovery, that were positive. A lot of those people didn't make it to where I'm at now. Some of those people died. Some of those people are still struggling to get sober, get clean. I stayed in that halfway house for like 6 months, and I stayed clean. I just went to work. I got tattoos. I found other things that interest me and made me happy. It was in June of 2014, after I got clean. I met this girl, and that happens to be, my girlfriend, my wife now. She helped me also because I realized that living in Pittsburgh, that's not where I'm from. That's not where I needed to be in my recovery. I needed to move on to the next step. So we started dating. I moved back to South Florida, and my dad was dying of cancer at the time. So for a long time, since I was 14, 15, getting high and not straight, my dad was able to see me like good. I was clean for years, able to see me straight before he died. And that was a really big thing in my life, because my dad and me had never gotten along. And he was dying. He had never really seen me good, doing well, having a job, staying clean. And this, before he died, he was finally able to. He did pass away October of that year. I know that he was happy to be able to see me, having a good girlfriend, a good relationship with my mom, just like actually doing something with my life. Everything just got better. Like I have a job, I have a car, I have a house, I have dogs, I have friends, I have family, I have people that care about me, love me. I don't treat them like scumbags. I don't steal from people. I was able to stay clean. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know that, if it was God's purpose or if I got clean to help other people. I don't know. But I know that I got clean one day and I stayed clean so far. I don't go out to bars. I don't go out to clubs because I don't put myself in situations that could possibly make me want to get high or drink or do anything else. I don't surround myself with those people. I don't put myself in those situations. Everything in my life now, I want to be positive, because if I start going down that track of, let me go to the club, let me go to the bar, let me drink a little bit, it might trigger me to want to do something else. And it's very possible. I don't do anything anymore. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't get high. And my life has become better. I'm an actual person in society instead of just a scumbag stealing off people and mooching off people. And today is April 19th, 2016. So I've been clean almost 3 months shy of 3 years. And it feels like a totally different life I lived before. I feel like before I got clean was like this other person. That wasn't me. Because sometimes I forget that I was even that person. And they tell you in AA and NA not to forget who you were. But it's so hard when you get so far and you've done so many good things and you don't think about getting high every day anymore. It's easy to forget that you were that person. So what I try to do is I try to make jokes about it, because that makes me remember that, hey, I was a scumbag, but I can laugh about it now because I'm in a better place.